God almighty, a lot of childhood things seem to be coming back from the dead nowadays, huh? Hey everyone, my name is Prince, and welcome to a video talking about something pretty interesting. Now, I'm sure most of you who have clicked on this video are at least vaguely aware of the game Spore. For those of you who aren't, let me give you the brief rundown. Spore was a game made in 2008, Jesus Christ, by the game company Maxis, who are the creators of The Sims. Now, Spore is one of my favorite games of all time, and definitely not without reason, because Spore is a creative gamer's dream. Spore was a game that allowed you to create your own creature and slowly evolve it throughout the 5 stages of the game. First off was the cell stage, which was very short and basically just involved you swimming around in a pool and trying not to get eaten. Then you evolved your creature to go on land, and then came the creature stage. The stage where you could really flex your creativity and design your creature in whichever way you wanted, and either befriend or hunt down other species on your planet. After that came the tribal stage, where your creature started to get a little bit more advanced. Your creatures gained the ability to use tools and weapons to either befriend or attack other tribes on your planet. Then after that came the civilization stage, which is my personal favorite, where you were able to design vehicles and entire cities for your species. And then finally came the space stage, where you left your planet and were able to interact with entire other empires within the Spore universe. Now again, Spore is one of my all-time favorite games, and it actually holds a pretty special place in my heart in regards to YouTube, because Spore was the first game I ever played for YouTube all the way back in October of 2015 on my original gaming channel, Players Adventures. And I'm actually going to be streaming it live on the channel at some point, so if you don't want to miss that, then go join the casual Discord in the description down below, as then you'll be automatically notified whenever I upload a video or do a live stream. But back to Spore. So Spore is one of the best games I've ever played. It's still a personal favorite even to this day. But unfortunately, obviously, it is a very old game. 2008. That's 16 years ago. And as I mentioned earlier, Spore was made by Maxis, who nowadays are part of EA. And due to this, I have never had any hope that Spore will get any sort of update or sequel or anything like that, because I very heavily doubt that a company like EA has any interest in a game like Spore. Because as we know, EA is very, very lazy. However, it appears as though I might have been wrong, because when I woke up today, I grabbed my phone and I decided to check out some of my recommended news stories, which for me is pretty much 100% stuff to do with gaming news and upcoming movies and stuff like that. And I saw an article that immediately caught my eye. It was an article by PC Gamer, and the title read as the following: After years of silence, the legendary life sim Spore has crawled back to life like a 3-eyed amphibian emerging from a primordial alien sea. Now, immediately, I was like, okay, what the hell is this about? I've got to check this out immediately. Apparently, the official Spore website, which honestly I'm surprised is even still up to this day, had a new update posted on it for the first time in more than 5 years. And the update itself was actually incredibly exciting. So here we are on the Spore website, and just by looking at this, you can tell how old it is. Simply by the fact that there is a buy now button that looks like this, and a picture of Spore, a PC game, in a case. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are of the newer generation and are unaware, Steam wasn't always a thing. You did used to get PC games on disc. God, I feel like a fucking boomer. However, if you actually go on to What is Spore and click Spore in the news, right here we have a post from September 30th of this year. At the time of recording, 3 days ago. And the post reads as the following. New team, new Discord. Spore has a new team. You may notice some of our team members making the rounds throughout the Spore communities. Rogue Lyshal and Raylion are leading up our new community efforts. Speaking of, there is now an official Discord server where you can keep up with the latest news from the development team, participate in contests, and get to know other players of Spore. Come join us. And then there's a link to the Discord. So I immediately went to check out the Discord, and lo and behold, it is a thing. There is now a Spore official Discord, which is honestly kind of mad. Now, the main part of the Discord that I wanted to talk about is the Spore news section, and I wanted to have a read of the post that was put in there. There's only been one so far, and it reads as the following. Hello, Sporelings. Welcome to our Discord. We look forward to growing and cultivating a safe space where the Spore community can thrive. We can't wait to chat with all of you and are excited you're here with us. Meet the team. Let us introduce ourselves. You may notice a handful of developers lurking about. Most of the team will not be involved in daily engagement with the community and are keeping a low profile. We ask you not to send friend requests or DMs to these members of the team. On the community side of things, however, meet our staff moderators. Rogue Lyshal is the product owner and producer for Spore these days. A relative newcomer to Spore, she lays no claim to being a game expert, but will do her best to help keep the community safe and engaged. Ray is an artist on the Spore team, being in the gaming and TV animation industry for 10 plus years. She's a fellow gamer and can't wait to get to know everyone and dig into the art and creative side of this community. While she's also relatively new to Spore, she's looking forward to learning and helping create a safe space for fellow Sporelings. We're also bringing in some community leaders as volunteer moderators. You'll see them out and about at various times. Setting expectations. Now, this is a very important bit. There's been so many questions about what this all means for Spore. We're so excited to see the exuberance and love for this game, and we wanted to set some expectations right off the bat here so you can take all those tinfoil hats off. We do not currently have any plans for major updates to the game itself at this time or any kind of sequel. Spore is a unique and special game, and it is our intent to honor its history. Our primary focus is on community engagement and being a central hub for all of the various communities out there to share a common space and for us to be able to communicate efficiently to all. As the community grows, we will be adding to the Spore Communities channel links to various communities that we've visited and vetted. These will include other Discord servers, Twitch streamers, and YouTubers. We're excited to get to know the community and to see all your amazing creations. Now, there's a lot to dissect here, but more than anything else, I think we should talk about the whole thing about not having any plans for future updates or a sequel or anything like that. Now, on the one hand, this doesn't really surprise me, because you've got to remember that Spore was made in 2008, meaning that probably everything within the game, like the file types and the code and everything like that, is probably ridiculously outdated. So I don't know if they could update it even if they wanted to at this point. However, on the other hand, I'm not sure I buy this, because really step back and think about this. Spore is a game that came out in 2008. It was really popular back in the day, and to this day, you know, people still play it, and there is clearly still a community for it. But it's not like Spore is like a legendary game that like so many people always talk about from their childhoods. It's decently well known, but it's not notorious. And yet, suddenly, out of fucking nowhere, Spore suddenly has a new EA team behind it. Again, you've got to remember, Maxis is part of EA now, so that means that everything that is happening with Spore now is only happening because EA want it to. EA, a company that is known for making pretty non-community centric decisions, such as stopping updates for Battlefront 2 when it had a very active player base that were literally begging them to keep updating it. And yet all of a sudden they've created an official community Discord for a game that's 16 years old. Like, this really doesn't seem like EA's style. Now back to the whole no sequel and no updates thing. The main reason I don't buy that is because they have flat out said that there are new developers behind Spore now. They have flat out said there are people that are working on Spore. So what are they doing? Now, one of the most obvious things that I can think of is fixing the fucking account situation with Spore. For those of you who don't know, Spore had a sort of online system where you could actually, like, register your account and then upload your creatures and creations to a sort of Spore workshop, which as far as I know actually kind of still works, but it only works if you made an account back in the day, and if you're a new player or just someone that never made an account, you can't make an account and therefore you can't access anything. So if they're going to be doing anything with Spore, I imagine that the first thing they're going to do is hopefully fix that, because I'm actually one of the people that never made an account before the whole account registration thing stopped working. But once again, I find it really weird that for no apparent reason, EA is suddenly taking an interest in Spore, a game that the company hasn't even acknowledged, like, ever. So what does this mean for Spore? Well, honestly, I haven't the faintest fucking idea. But I think it's pretty clear that something is happening. Because we know EA, we know how stingy of a company they are when it comes to stuff like this, and we know that they don't do anything like this unless they have a plan. Again, I wouldn't be saying any of this if it was just, like, the community Discord, and it was just a bunch of, like, community engagement stuff. If it was just them trying to provide, like, a place for the Spore community to sort of come together, then I wouldn't really be saying any of this stuff. And honestly, that sounds even less like EA than what's actually happening here, because again, EA have never really been very community friendly. But no, they have flat out said that Spore now has a new team behind it. A new team of developers. So what are they up to? Because if they don't have any plans for major updates or a sequel, then what are these developers actually doing? And I very much doubt that EA would go to the trouble of setting up a new team of developers for Spore just to fix the whole account thing. I think they would only do something like this if they had some sort of plan for Spore. Now, obviously, none of this is confirmed in any way, and, you know, this sort of directly contradicts what they're telling us, but then again, so does the fact that they have a new team of developers behind Spore. Because it's not like Spore is, like, outrageously buggy, like, no one really complains about Spore having a bunch of problems, so it's not like it needs fixing. The only thing that needs fixing, like I said, is the whole account thing. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this, because, again, the simple fact is, I don't think EA would do this if they didn't have something planned for it. They wouldn't invest time and presumably money into a 16-year-old game that has been abandoned for however long if they didn't have something in the pipeline. And again, those so-called developers have got to be doing something. So I don't really know what's actually going on here, but I'm pretty certain that something is happening, and I'm gonna be keeping an eye on this. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and go join the casual Discord in the description down below if you don't want to miss any future videos or live streams, including my live playthrough of Spore that I will be doing at some point in the near future. Again, thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I will see you on another video or stream very, very soon. Goodbye, everyone.